Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to yet another boot review. This is the second video that I promised in the last video, and today we have the Anne model from Jessica Simpson. I'm trying to film in a different spot than I normally film. I noticed the color was really off in the last video. I tried to correct it as much as I could in my editing software, and it just didn't seem like it wanted to cooperate. So trying a little different location. Hopefully the lighting's a little better. Unfortunately, we're on a counter rather than at a table, so I can't really sit down, so I'm standing up. But anyway, these are the Anne model from Jessica Simpson. It's yet another one of the original lineup that the Jessica Simpson brand put out when they first debuted in 2010. The only model that I haven't done a review on that I'm still looking for from that original lineup is the Yana. And I had a pair way before I started the channel and whatnot. And then I eventually sold them. So I do want to try to get another pair of them. But let's focus on the ones that we have here in front of us today. So these are actually quite similar to they're kind of a cross between the Tulip and the Yana. They have a slightly thick heel. It's not super thick, but it's not as thin as the Joshua. The heels measure approximately 5 inches with it's actually 5/8 of an inch. It's just over a half, not quite 3/4, so it's 5/8 of an inch platform. So 5-inch heel, 5/8 inch platform. A little taller than the Joshuas that we reviewed earlier. Actually, in fact, it's probably the tallest heel out of all of the Jessica Simpson boots that I have right now. They have a really soft leather upper. It's not the same leather as the Joshua. It's not the same type of leather as the Tulip. And I gotta kind of go by memory, but it's not the same type of leather as the Yanas either. So that's at least, oh, and it's definitely not the same type of leather as the Keatons that I have. So that's 5 different pairs of boots and 5 different types of leather. These are a very soft, almost like a leather jacket, not a motorcycle jacket, but like a fashion jacket. Almost not quite a kid leather, but definitely a smooth cow leather. Very soft, very supple. These are fully lined with leather inside the cuff. So unlike the Joshua and the Tulip, you could actually wear these uncuffed and it'd be no problem. Which I still find to be very odd. The leather cuff kind of goes down fairly deep, even though the split in the back doesn't. So you can only uncuff it down to that split right here. But that still leaves a good 2 inches of leather on the inside. That kind of actually helps the boot from sliding down your leg while you're wearing it. So it sticks a little bit. The rest of it's just lined in your normal tricot fabric. These I got also in a size 10 because for some unknown reason you can hardly ever find Jessica Simpson boots in the size 11. So these are a size 10, so I can compare size 10 to size 10. These were much tighter than the Joshua, probably closer to the same lines as the Keaton when I had to stretch those out. The Joshua was a little looser. It still needed to be stretched, but not as much. These I've already put one application of rubbing alcohol on them, and I need to do it again because there's definitely very, very tight across this part of the foot for me. Again, I'm trying to squeeze my normal size 11 feet into a size 10 boot. It is possible. You just have to really work at it and be dedicated to it. Unfortunately, the alcohol does take away some of the shine. These boots were previously polished at some point, and I only know that because once I put the alcohol on, the polish was coming off and the cotton balls were turning like jet black. So once I'm done doing that, I will need to re-moisturize and condition the leather and then repolish them. It's just a fact of something that happens. The Joshuas, when I stretch those, because they're more of a natural camel or color or tan color leather, they don't really have polish on them, so the alcohol really doesn't do much to visually to it. This one, it's probably not going to show up on camera, but it's quite shiny up in this area here, and then it gets very dull where I had to put the alcohol on, and then the toe is once again shiny. The feel of the leather doesn't feel any different, but it's a noticeable difference when you're looking at it. So it's kind of a bummer that I have to do that, but I was prepared and knew that I had to do it beforehand. In terms of where you could possibly find these, once again, this is from long ago, 2010, so 10 years old now. Been long discontinued. However, they are fairly prevalent on Poshmark. Sometimes you find them on eBay, not always, but I did happen to find a few pairs on Poshmark, and they are offered in at least 3 colors that I've seen. The black, the same type of camel color that my Joshuas and my tulips are in, and kind of just a chocolate brown leather. I don't know if the different colors have different types of leather to them. That's something I have to kind of research. And unfortunately, I don't think I can just like randomly ask somebody, hey, is it the same kind of leather as this? Because they don't have the same things to compare to. So without buying multiple pairs of the same boots just in different colors, I can't really compare one another. But I kind of thought of it when I was saying, hey, this is the 5th pair of boots I've had, and it's the 5th different type of leather. However, they're all different models, and most of them are different colors. Like the Joshuas and the tulips are definitely 2 different colors. They weren't the exact same shade of tan, and the leather hides that were used were not the same. So these being black and the Ketons being black, I can tell you the Ketons are a different type of leather. They're a thicker, there's more of a grain to them. It's a thicker, feels more durable. The only way I can describe it is like a thick motorcycle biker jacket, that thick, rugged leather. But these are much softer, and it's a little different. In terms of comfort, it's hard for me to say right now until I really get them stretched out. They seem like they're going to be okay. The Joshuas are probably going to end up being a little more comfortable in the long run, but I think these are going to be okay. They are fairly tight across here though. When you're trying to slide them in, because they have a half zip, that half zip really I really kind of wish it had gone up a little further. This one here's fairly short, whereas I think it was either the Yanas that I used to have, or it might even be the tulips where the zipper actually runs up fairly high. This one, the zipper doesn't come up as high, and when I'm trying to slide my foot down in, I actually kind of get stuck right here. And I gotta wiggle it and move it and wiggle it and pull and tug and pull and tug, and slowly my foot slides down. And once it slides down, it slides in. But this part right here near your ankle is actually fairly snug. So that's another little minor gripe of mine. Maybe if they were a size 11, that part would be a little bigger. My foot would slide in a little easier. That's a possibility. However, way back a while ago, my wife had bought a pair of Jessica Simpson ankle boots. They didn't have any zippers or anything. It was just supposed to be a pull-on boot. And we could not get her foot into that boot to save our life because it was just too tight at the ankle for her heel to fit down into. Like, it started to go in and then it would just get stuck, and the heel kept hitting on the the heel cup, and we just could not get it big enough. Like, they just didn't make the proportions big enough. So we ended up selling those or giving them away as a gift, one of the two, something like that. So it is a common theme with some Jessica Simpson models, but not all of them. I've only run into it with this pair and that particular pair. All the rest have been fairly decent as far as size there and the size of the calf and whatnot. I have 15-inch diameter calves, and these boots fit just snug. They're not tight, but they're not loose and floppy. So they're just snug, so that would be pretty much a 15-inch diameter on that. Another thing I didn't do yet is let's see just how tall they are. Speaking of measurements and diameters, so I'll find the edge right there. We'll stretch this out, and we are at a 15-inch shaft height. So the shafts are actually 3 inches shorter than the Joshua's, because those were an 18. Remember, the tulips were 17. These are 15. So they're a little shorter than the other ones. They look like they would be taller, but that scrunched up look, the inside is nice and straight, and the outside is separate, and it's a little baggy. So that's as far as they go, is 15 inches up. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say about this particular pair. I appreciate all the support from everyone. Thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me comments. I love reading comments. Leave me comments, send me private messages. I love interacting with everybody on here, and I just hope that you guys flood my inbox, because I just love, like I said, I love talking to everyone, and I love interacting with you guys. So hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.